It's the final act of Donald Trump's Marathon Asia tour, and it could be the showstopper. Touching down in the Philippine capital Manila on Sunday, the U.S. president arrived in a country run by a man regularly described as the Donald Trump of Asia for his shock rise to power and volatile temperament. Timeline: the U.S. president must grapple with the thorny issues of North Korea's nuclear ambitions as well as trade wars in Asia on one of the trickiest diplomatic tours in decades. The 5th of November 2017, Trump warns of the North Korean threat and says Japanese orders for U.S.-made military equipment will help keep Japan safe. Read more. The 7th of November 2017, the North Korea rhetoric softens as the president suggests he is open to diplomatic efforts to resolve the nuclear crisis. Read more. The 8th of November 2017, Xi Jinping rolls out the red carpet for Trump, who lavishes praise on his host and blames his American predecessors for the huge trade deficit between the U.S. and China. Read more. The 10th of November 2017, Trump swings through Da Nang for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meeting featuring one Vladimir Putin, before flying to Hanoi for talks with Vietnam's president about boosting economic and security cooperation. The 12th of November 2017, U.S.-Filipino relations have plummeted under President Rodrigo Duterte, who shares some populist and mercurial characteristics with his guest. The war on drugs and Islamic terror could join North Korea on the agenda. Thank you for your feedback. Months before Trump was elected, Rodrigo Duterte proved the strength of anti-establishment populism in the Philippines by taking the presidency in a campaign filled with black-and-white promises to wipe out crime by young drug pushers. And when his administration did indeed starting hundreds of suspected drug pushers and alleged addicts, U.S.-Philippine relations, historically one of the strongest alliances in Asia, plummeted. At its lowest point, Duterte called former President Barack Obama a son of a whore for criticizing his human rights record. For Trump, however, the Philippines is bringing out the red carpet. President Trump will definitely receive a very warm welcome in Manila, said the Foreign Affairs Secretary, Alan Peter Cayetano, who added relations were on an upward vector. On Saturday, at the regional APEC summit in Vietnam, the two leaders were introduced for the first time before a scheduled bilateral meeting in Manila. Albeit short, it was very warm and cordial, presidential spokesman Harry Roque said when asked by The Guardian if the pair had rapport. Oliver Holmes et al. Reports first meet between a real Donald Trump and Philippines leader. Duterte's Spox described it as warm. Pic.twitter.com 18 Soviet coups November 11, 2017 For the U.S. leader, the Philippines visit is a chance to show he can win back estranged allies, said Richard Javad Hadarian, the author of The Rise of Duterte. He also sees in Duterte a fellow populist and decisive leader besieged by liberal internationalist elite, so there is some element of personal rapport and ideological solidarity, he added. I expect a convivial hobnob between the two in Manila. That is possible because Trump appears to have abandoned his predecessor's focus on rights, even praising Duterte's bloody crackdown by saying he was doing an unbelievable job on the drug problem. Trump does not appear to care, as Obama did, with advancing rule of law globally and advancing democracy globally, according to Christopher Premiano, a teaching fellow based at the China campus of the University of Nottingham. I just don't think Trump is interested in any of this. These are non-issues for Trump, he said. Trump and Duterte, given that both of them are authoritarian in terms of their governance, have much more in common than, say, Duterte and Obama. There is a lot of work to be done. Duterte has moved the Philippines swiftly away from its former colonial power on several fronts, increasingly looking to Beijing and Moscow as new backers, especially for weapons shipments. He ended joint war games with the U.S. military last year. He has pivoted to Asia, veered away from the traditional political relationship between the Philippines and the United States, Duterte's spokesman Roque said. And in steps to boost ties with China, the 72-year-old leader has played down territorial disputes in the South China Sea, which has worried Washington as it wants the vital shipping route to remain outside of Chinese control. However, the academic Premiano warns, there is one major caveat that makes it hard to concretely predict a jovial U.S. visit to Manila. Trump is a complete wild card, he said. He says one thing 1 minute, maybe he'll tweet something this morning, and then say something totally different in the afternoon. Philippine protesters are preparing to burn an effigy of Trump on Monday outside the U.S. Embassy, which could sour the U.S. leader, especially at the end of a tiring trip. Duterte, too, has sent mixed messages and has a famously changeable mood, even berating close allies at a moment's notice. The Philippine president had promised to be on his best behavior as the host of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Leaders Summit, saying he would deal with Trump in the most righteous way, welcome him as an important leader. But he has not always been so diplomatic. During the Philippine election campaign, he shunned the Trump comparison, saying the then candidate was a bigot for his proposals to ban Muslims entering the U.S. And despite being invited by Trump to visit Washington, Duterte said in July he would never visit the lousy U.S. after Congressman James McGovern announced he would protest any such trip. Some Philippine media reports even suggest Duterte might not meet with Trump only on one at all during the visit, which could certainly lead to an outburst from the prickly U.S. leader. Trump is completely unpredictable, said Primiano. We all need to keep that in mind.